All right, welcome this wonderful Friday. Um, I thought it wasn't going to rain, but now I think it is. Um, when I went for my walk this morning, it was nice and sunny, but it looks like it's going to rain. But we have a great guest on here today, wide receiver coach from Stonehill College, new coach there, Zahneer Shuler. We're excited to talk to him. About college football, about recruiting, about his career, and about some of the things he does with the wide receivers. So, Coach, it's welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
And of course, I have Coach D, who's always with us on the Prospect Podcast. It's great seeing you on this Friday, Coach. We have a little break, no tournaments or anything. So, did you play last night with your girls team, or do we want to talk? It's a good deal? You're rolling? Yes, I can't hear you. I don't
I
know.
can't hear either. I lost this.
I can't hear you. Your sound, Coach.
Why was I muted?
Okay.
I don't know. I think you muted yourself. Say
well, maybe I said it's a good day. It's a good day. 27-19 victory for the ladies.
All right. So that's now you're up to what? 3-2?
3-3. 3-3.
3-3. All right. I know you got
coaching girls flag for the first time this year, Coach. So it's a new program just started, and it's a sport we talk about all the time because it's booming right now. So diving right into it. It's been fun, man. It really is. Coaching girls is different. That's for sure.
I believe that.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
You get the fall season where you coach the guys, and then you coach
That's
the girls.
Look, I think I got a better shot winning a title with the girls, man. I got a better shot getting ring finally after 16 years with the girls. That's for sure.
That's it. Well, Coach, you're at Stonehill College. You've been a couple places. Talk about your playing career and your coaching career, and kind of to this point, going to. And Coach, you're from Jersey, right?
Yep, from Jersey, from Woodbridge.
Yep, that's what I thought. Yep.
Love when we can get Jersey guys on, Coach. That's why we not saying we're biased, but we'll take it all day, baby.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's it. All right, yeah. Tell us, Coach. Give us a little bit of your background, your playing career, coaching career, kind of how you ended up where you are right now.
Yeah, so to start off, I'm from Woodbridge, New Jersey. So I was playing out there freshman year, going out there, and I was just surrounded by a lot of talent, older guys up there. Our senior year, we were pretty stacked, ranked heavily in top 25 in the state. So my freshman year, just sat behind, watching older guys, the varsity team, really learned everything. And sophomore year, I was able to jump into that starting varsity role. So I played running back and I played safety at Woodbridge High School for 3 years. I started out all 3 years there, bounced around my junior year, actually. Going into junior year high school, I broke my ankle playing basketball summer league. So I actually sat out that whole summer. I missed all of June, all of July. It was the day before my birthday, so I'll never forget that one, June 20th. And when I broke my ankle, that was like a mental thing for me. So going into my junior year, that's the big year for you of getting recruited and everything like that, and to go down right before that. So I actually missed that whole summer. I missed July and August due to injury, and then I bounced back, and I wound up playing quarterback my junior year. So when I came back from running back, I just jumped in, started playing quarterback my junior year. And then senior year, I was able to move back to running back and play slot receiver. So I was out, like I said, Woodbridge High School, 3-year varsity, started there. Basketball player, too. Basketball part is my better sport in high school, honestly. 1,000-point scorer. I got the 3-point record at my high school right now. So, it was pretty fun career. But, unfortunately, my grades weren't of standard, so I had to go to a junior college route. So I went to Lackawanna Junior College out in Scranton, Pennsylvania. A lot of people don't really know where that's at, but if you ever watch The Office, that's the location. Scranton, Pennsylvania. They always mention that. So I was at Lackawanna for 2 years.
Excellent junior college.
Yeah, Lackawanna, we produce a lot of dogs.
Tons.
So,
we used to scrimmage, and we've referenced it before because we've had Coach on And we when I was at Montclair State, we used to game scrimmage Lackawanna every single year before we started our season. Yeah. And it's like, you're lining up against, who's got this offer to Florida State and who's going here in 2 months. And it was just very good school, Coach. Continue. Keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good. That was the fun part though, going to Lackawanna. That was the eye opener for me because I went junior college. So, everybody in high school, they're the man. And then you go to junior college and you got bounce backs, and you got people that were man in their state. You got All-American, freshman All-American that didn't have grades and all that type of stuff. So it was pretty fun to go out there and it kind of was humbling experience, going to junior college and seeing the talent that's around and not being that top guy, not being the best player. But, my freshman year, the biggest thing I just wanted to make that travel squad. I just wanted to make the bus. So to be able at Lackawanna to be a true freshman and be able to make the travel squad, that was big for me. So my freshman year, I did pretty good. Made the travel squad. I contributed. I think we went 8-2. We had a really good season. And then my sophomore year was when I made that leap. Final backs against the wall now is junior college. I didn't redshirt, so I'm going to my true sophomore season. And I actually kind of became more versatile. So I started playing like the H-back slot position. I was moving around. So instead of being just running back, I was moving in that sidecar position, that tight end. I was moving outside in the slot position and doing everything we had to do. Whenever we had trick plays, I was the guy to throw the ball. So it was pretty fun. My sophomore year, just getting that confidence now, being around for a year, knowing now, junior college is 2 years. So that second year, you're really the older guy. So being able to soak in all the information I can. My first year, I was behind some great running backs. I just seen some great offensive players, some old linemen. You know what I'm saying? That, like I said, it's a powerhouse Lackawanna. So Florida, we had guys go everywhere. So
my God.
Yeah, it was pretty fun there. That was my sophomore year, and then I decided to go to University of New Mexico. So I went from Jersey, Pennsylvania, to Albuquerque, New Mexico. So that was a huge jump, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go out there because it was something different,
I bet.
After my visit out there, I was just staring at the scenery. Yeah, it was so different for me. So that was something I definitely wanted to do. So I went out to University of New Mexico. I stayed out there. I did 2 years playing wise. I played immediately. I wound up switching positions my junior year, so I switched. We was a triple option, so I switched that sidecar cruiser position that we call it. Had fun with that in Mountain West. Second year, I wound up. We got a new office coordinator, so I went back to running back and was able to contribute in that aspect of it. Then my playing days that finished up there. I had to do another year out there to finish graduating school wise. So that's why I kind of helped out with like recruiting and stuff like that. I just got my foot in the door day-to-day basis of how it is to be a coaching aspect. And then, after my playing days, after I graduated and everything was working out, XFL wise, this is when the XFL had just started getting on the scene and everything like that, workouts and all that. And then, COVID hit, and, life changed for everybody. So during that COVID stage, I just professional. You wasn't allowed to work out. You wasn't allowed to go out. You wasn't allowed to do a lot of things. So I didn't really know what I was going to do. But after everything started opening up, I wound up going to Albany Empire Arena League out in Albany. I was out there for a little bit. Wound up getting hurt. So while I got hurt, they cut you. It's that time. They got to find somebody else. They got to get somebody else to go replace that position. So on my drive home, it's kind of crazy. My offensive coordinator from Lackawanna, he actually called me on the drive home. Like, hey, what you doing? We have a receiver position right now to coach. And I was like, he was like, you don't got to answer it right now. You don't have to tell me yes or no, but just think about it. You know what I'm saying? Just talk to your family, see what you have to do, whatever plans you have in the future, just let me know. So I sat there and thought about it. I was like, what are the odds? I never thought about coaching. It was never like a dream of mine, but it kind of was crazy how it kind of just fell in the lap. And I knew a lot of guys that were trying to get into coaching. It was hard for me to get their first step in. So honestly, I wanted to give him a call back. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I want to give it a shot, especially at Lackawanna at that time in my life. I was like, hey, I'm a young guy. Junior college players, I went here. I'm familiar with the whole process. I'm familiar with the whole, just the struggles, everyday struggles that the junior college players have. So I just felt like that was my ceiling to go back to the junior college route right there. So I went back to Scranton, Pennsylvania. I was out there for a year. So I did the fall and the spring out there of 21. After that, now going into fall 2022, I was able to get an opportunity to go to Notre Dame College. It's a Division II school out in Cleveland, Ohio. So I was out there. I was a powerhouse there in the Mountain East Conference. We were really good out there, number-wise. Got a conference championship ring. So I spent, after Lackawanna there, after 1 year at Lackawanna, I did 2 years at Notre Dame College. Unfortunately, the school wound up shutting down while I was there. So that was kind of Yeah, that was another like, whoa, life comes at you fast moment.
Imagine that, like just one day. Hey, guess what? But we've seen it happen a lot. But we have seen it happen a lot recently with some schools closing or programs shutting down or going down to a different level. But so it's not unheard of. But it's definitely an eye-opening experience. I'm sure it definitely shaped you in a certain type of way.
Yeah, so it's crazy when you see it on Twitter or when you read about the stories and everything. It's like, oh, that's crazy. And then now you're actually the one in it. It's like, oh, whoa, like it's a whole complete different angle, a whole different thought process behind things. So we got that news. That was in February. They told us the last day of February, so like February 29th, 28th. And it was just kind of crazy because they gave us the news, and then we was actually had spring break that following week, so I was going on vacation. So I'm on vacation. I'm in well, not vacation. I went out to travel. I was in Dallas, Texas, and now I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna have a job in the next 3 months because you have to finish out the semester. So they told us in February. So after May, basically everybody's gone. The school shut down. Everything is done. So my whole thought process is now like, all right, what's next for me? And as difficult as the situation was, it was really hard for me on the kids because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be able to get another job. I'll be able to try to find another job and be able to get back on my feet. But these kids. These are their college experience. So that's the part that really hurt for me. I'm like, man, it sucks that they have to go through that. We're all going through it together, but it's just different perspective and angles from everybody. So to be able to like go through that with each other, I was lucky enough to have an interview. I wound up going to McKendree University, a Division II school out in Lebanon, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis. So after that whole situation happened, and like I said, things happened fast. So by the time I was on spring break, by the time I came back, I had to pack my stuff in Cleveland and take a drive to go to St. Louis, Missouri, basically. So that, like I said, life came fast. So to be able to get back on my feet, I was just blessed to be able to keep going coaching wise. So I wanted to go to McKendree University. You start off at a new school first, and you just learning the new coaching staff, learning the players, building the relationships up. So I was there for McKendree for a whole year. And spring ball just had started, just about to start about a month ago. And I got the call here at Stonehill College to be able to have an opportunity to interview and get an opportunity to move up forward in my professional career. So everything went well, did the interview, and got here. So when we got here, they had already did 2 spring practices. So I came in our 3rd spring practice. So I was really behind the 8 ball with everything, but blessed to be able to just, be able to pick everything up and go, be able to move. So I had to take that drive. Everything happened so fast.
Right.
Basically accepted the job Tuesday night. Had to pack my stuff Wednesday, and I was on the road Wednesday night. Had to take that about a 17-hour drive from St. Louis to Boston, Massachusetts. And yeah, it was a fun trip. I was able to stop by, see some family on the way, but yeah, I was able to move into the office to get ready to get going with practice 3. But my second day here, so it's been a wild experience. Everything hasn't really been I feel like a conventional way, but everything happens for a reason. So I just want to thank God to be able to be in this be in this position right now, this opportunity to talk with y'all.
It's incredible the coach's ride in college and
it's crazy.
It is. It's wild. And it's cool that you're getting all these different opportunities. Obviously, it's especially on the climb you're on. Being young and climbing the college coaching space. So you played for Mark Duda, right?
Yep, Coach Duda. Yep.
Yep.
He's the best.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And was Josh Pardini there at the time when you were
coordinator? Yep.
Okay, yeah. I think he's back there now. I think he might have left for a while, but I think he's back there now again. So I know those guys because they actually coached at a couple All-Star games I ran back in the day, long time, even before when you were in college. But yeah, they're great guys, they're great coaches. And they've established Duda's established such a great program over the years at junior college. What were some of the things starting back to when you coached there and obviously played there? What are some of the things that you learned, from when you were a player, then also when you were coaching, being a JUCO guy and things that you think are important for players that maybe go that route?
The biggest thing is is realizing everything happens for a reason. So you might not know what happened. You might not know what the reason is at that moment, but um, not ever questioning why this happened, but more so what did I learn from it? What can I learn from it? How can I improve from this? So you go a JUCO route and you're gonna go to a school and you're gonna. Back then, I was so heavy into everybody, like trying to see who's getting recruited, who's getting offered, and all that. So I was so big into that because I wanted to know for myself. Like, I don't want to. I never see a guy he gets an offer and that I don't want to be like on hating, thinking like, why he get that offer? I could have got it. No, I was like, oh, congrats. What did he do to get that offer? How did he? Now who did he know? What did he put on film? What did he see? So I think trying not to compare and trying to learn or take the positive from people. Sometimes that negative thought process happens immediately, and I try to stay away from that. So my biggest thing was always to compare, but never have no enviness, no jealousness on my end, and just try to take the positive out. So like going like Lackawanna, there was guys where I look over, I'm like, he got all these offers, or not even at Lackawanna, just JUCO in general, and I'm like, I'm better than him. Why don't I got this offer? Why he got this offer and I don't? And I had to shift that focus from not worrying about why I'm not having certain stuff and what do I have that's going for me? What's my strengths and weaknesses? So I think just being genuine and wanting to root for everybody and the flowers gonna come for you. You gotta work though. You can't just talk about the grind. You can't just sit here and scream, lack life. We always scream that motto. That's our thing, lack life, and that's lack life, savage life. So you want to live that lifestyle. But you can't just talk about living that lifestyle. You got to live it. So, when you're in the dorms every day, just how can I get better? How can I? It's funny going through my memories now because it was years ago now, but I'm going through my memories. And as an offense at Lackawanna, we would do walkthroughs in our basement of the dorms. Just the players though, not coaches there. We'll just go over some plays and just have our own whole line, have the quarterback doing the cadence and everything like that. We're just in slides and some other group watching TV, sitting in the basement. So just that atmosphere, Lackawanna built, it brings the best out of you also. So that's why I'm always gonna rep Lackawanna. Always gonna try to throw Coach Duda out there because he done a tremendous job over there at Lackawanna. So that's it right there.
Very cool. And then the transition from JUCO coaching, because playing I think is a different thing too. But coaching from coaching in JUCO to coaching at the Kendrick and now at Stonehill and going to coaching even at Notre Dame College. I know it was brief.
Yeah.
What was that like? Transitioning from being in the JUCO area to coaching for you. Like, what were kind of the mindset shifts that you had to have there?
So the biggest shift was the relationships because I went back to Lackawanna and I started off coaching. It was all right. Well, I already know Coach Dude. I know Coach Parseghian. They know how I am as a player. They know how energetic I am. They know sometimes I'm in a mood where I got to focus and grind. So, so having them uplift battle. So I think the first thing was building that relationship up of not being comfortable with not knowing these guys. So I went to Cleveland, Ohio. I had no history in Cleveland. I had no family in Cleveland. So the first thing is just building that relationship up, being genuine, being who I am. And then that next phase is understanding that now I'm going to a college where it's a 4-year school. So the system, learning the plays, and it might be a little bit more developed because we have the guys for a little bit longer. JUCO guys, you go in there, you have a guy for a semester, he might do really good for you and get up out of there. So I think it was being able to realize that the scheme can be a little bit more complex, and that's because we have a little bit more time with them. We have a few more years with them. So I think that was the first thing I really noticed was how the playbook, the difference in the playbook, and just meeting times and having certain meetings and everything like that. And all of that played a factor moving from Lackawanna to Notre Dame College. That was the first JUCO to division NCAA job that I had got. So it was just the structure of everything like that. Just we had more meeting times with them. We had more practice time. So being able to adapt to that and realize like, hey, you really could be 10 toes in and you really could really touch these kids because it's not just 2 years now. You have them 4 years. You're going to see it walk in at 18 and hopefully he stays all 4 years and see him grow to 22, 23 years old. So it's a battle between that, having a guy for 4 years, and then a battle also in junior college. You have to realize you might have a bounce back from Division I. So it's being able to coach a guy to be able to humble him also like, hey, everything you did before you got to junior college is changed. And then So it's a little bit different now with the transfer portal, having guys go almost straight to Division I school to Division II, bouncing around. But I think it was just the meetings and everything in general, just coaching in general, just that next stage basically of life.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's a different stage. What about the well, because of the transfer portal now, I think being someone that's been at JUCO maybe actually serve as an advantage for you, because you kind of understand where guys they might turn over, how to
Yeah.
retain, have to retain in a short time period, like re-recruit your roster, and then try to advise them if they want to leave and other kind of stuff. If you think that's the best thing to do, um, talk about some of that knowledge base, because JUCO obviously is transitory. People move they're moving on to the next gig. Um, Talk about some of the things that you think you're able to bring to a 4-year school that that you've learned from the JUCO standpoint.
Yeah, yeah. The it's crazy because I know I graduated. So it's my 10th year anniversary graduating high school. So I graduated Lackawanna in 2017, so about 8 years now.
Right.
It's crazy how much things has changed since 2018 to now. And then when I graduated from New Mexico, 2020 to now. So like the first year, the transfer portal was a thing. Really, it was like 2017, and
Right.
the portal opened up, and nobody was jumping in that portal. Nobody was going in there. So 2018 now, you see 2 to 3 people jumping. Oh, okay. And then that next jump is like, all right, now it's starting to become like a common theme, which I hate it so much. And it's crazy because I like the I like guys. I like guys that's going to try to strive to get better. I want guys to go out there. I can't stand the guys that's entering the portal. They have no film. I'm trying to say, hey, like, what's up? Like, let me see the film. And like, coach, I don't got none, but I can show you my high school tape and all that stuff. I think like my biggest thing is you're not really supposed to play as a freshman at least right away. So especially when I'm seeing these freshman guys, they enter the portal, was there for one semester and left. I couldn't even imagine if I had that mindset at Lackawanna when I was a JUCO. I couldn't even imagine going to a spot for one semester. I'm not supposed to just come in and be the guy and play right away. If you are coming to be an immediate threat, that means you were one of the guys and they need some help with talent. The older guys weren't established enough. So that's where I try to guide, have guidance for the players to try to tell them, hey, I never push the portal. I never tell a guy, hey, you could come here, you could do really good and go into the portal and go somewhere bigger. That's never a mindset I got. Whoever I bring in, I want them to stay 4 years. That's my thought process. So the transfer portal, I think is beneficial for guys that's entering the portal and moving up. The guys that have film, the guys that started and played. Because you can see with the offers how it reflects after you play a little bit, you get the film, and then you're able to move on and go to bigger, better things that you want for yourself. But you got some of these guys that enter the portal. It's like you ask about the film, you ask about that, they beat around the bush, and that's where I get frustrated because it's like, hey, guy, like you could have just stayed down. When I got to Lackawanna, we had a lot of running backs. I was second to the last with a depth chart. At any moment, I could have been like, yeah, I'm out of here. No, I never did that. I was able to wait, stay in my turn, find my role, stay what I had to do. And the most important part was I had to learn. I learned from that. That was the first thing I noticed was why am I so bottom of the depth chart? I'm looking at the guys. And I'm like, okay, he does this really good. Let me try to be like that. He does this really good. So I think the transfer portal, the JUCO world, and just recruiting in general. Now you have NIL and stuff, all that things playing a part. It's just changing. I maybe it could be growth, but it's just something that's new for me too. So I'm trying to be able to see what part I like of it and what part I still don't like of it. Also blending in between the two. I think guys are supposed to be able to transfer and leave and go where they want to school, but you got a guy that transferred 4 years, 4 different schools. Which one is he calling home? Which one after he graduates is just the last school that he graduated from? Or that's the part that's getting confusing right now. So I think it's beneficial for the people that it makes sense to. Some guys got to wait their turn though.
Well, I think you brought up some really good points there. First of all, the fact that guys are jumping in the portal without any film, just seems crazy to me.
Yeah,
like camp tape, guys are producing, right? Like, hey, and like Coach said, a semester. Like you're there for a semester. The thought process that you're going to play immediately, right, Dave? Like, I mean, I just don't understand that. Like, that's not a thing. And now immediately the first thought process is not, hey, let me get a year under my belt. Let me work. Let me learn. Let me figure it out right away to go jump to something better because, you know, maybe somebody says, hey, you're going to come here and do this right away. Is that really the truth, though? Are they really going to go to another program and walk right in and be the guy? Because, you know, we know how recruiting works, man. Like, everybody wants to tell you what you want to hear until you get there.
Yeah, literally. So that's why I'm just like, everything is circumstance based. So everybody's situation is different. And they're seeing their peers. They're seeing some of their peers that actually played and did something. Oh yeah, he entered the portal. He went to this Division I school. Or he might have went to a better Division II school. So they have all these situations, and then they enter the portal. It's like, oh well, my boy went here, or this worked out for him. Well, that your situation is different than here. So that's the part that's frustrating. I just hope with these guys making their decisions, they have the right mentors ahead of them, trying to help them and feed them the right advice. You know, sometimes you got these guys that's trying to get paid off these recruiting services to hey, I can get you this offer over here if you enter the portal, they enter the portal, that guy, you know. So it's a cruel world. I think I just don't like the social media aspect of it. I think that's the biggest problem right now. You have so much access to coaches. I know when I was getting recruited in high school, I got a letter, and that was the biggest thing ever. Getting a letter, that was like the coolest thing ever. So now these kids are able to reach and follow any coach they want. Now they might follow a coach, send them a DM, and then tell their friends, yeah, this school is recruiting me. Like he didn't even reply back. He didn't even see your DM yet. So that's why I think social media is another problem with how things are going too.
No, that's a great point. I mean, I think that's the communication and the information that's out there. Like, you guys have to filter through so much of that in order to figure out, like, is this kid actually getting recruited by somebody? But it simply comes down to, like, who's in your database and who watched, who's got the film that you're interested in. But it's a wild west from that standpoint. Talk about the type of receivers that you like to get, skill sets and all those kind of things.
I keep it basic. I keep it simple. Are you a good football player? Let's start off with that. Like, can you play football? Do you go out there? Do you have the grit? Do you do the dirty work? I like guys that like. My first thing is, can you make somebody miss in a phone booth? Those are guys that, the flashy guys. You like to see that, but at the end of the day, it's about, are you a good football player? Am I going to put on your film, and am I able going to see, not hear about what they say about the film, not have assumptions? Am I seeing what I'm seeing on film with my eyes, and then when I see it in person, live evaluation? So my biggest thing is just, are you a ball player? What's the competition you're going against? And I got to give that live evaluation. I got to see you in person. I got to see that size. That's not the biggest thing. Size not the biggest thing, obviously, but my first question: can he play football? How big is he? How fast is he? How strong is he? And then, like, what program do you come from? That's sometimes that's the biggest difference. These high school coaches play a huge part of their college development, because it starts obviously from youth, but that high school development stage, that 13 to 17 range, 14 to 18-year-old range, they've been able to process so much information. So I think development starts off with high school coaches being able to actually teach the game of football. So yeah, receiver wise, I'm really looking at if you can play football. I'm evaluating all the type, but I want to be able to see what you can do with the ball in your hands, what you can do with the ball without your hands, how you are as a person, how you are as an athlete, how you are. Do you play any other sports? Are you competitive? Just all of that behind evaluations.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, I think that evaluation is key. Is there like a process that you guys go through on the evaluate? Like who does it go to first? When does it get to you? How does that process work?
So usually every school is different. Everybody has their own method. Schools I've been a part of, it's mainly start off with the area coach. So everybody has their certain area, and they break down the schools from there. After you evaluate your area now, you move them on to positionally now. So if you want to move it on to the position coach, if he's that good, you want to move on to a position coach and have the position coach evaluate him. So if the position coach evaluates him and he likes him, now it's going to move up to the coordinator. Now the coordinator. So it's just a trickle down effect, but it starts off with the area first. Everybody's got their areas, and then it's going to go to a position coach, and then shoot from there, go into higher authority. So position coach to the coordinator to head guy. at the end he has the final say. So
That makes a ton of sense. And then as far as kind of like with the atmosphere, since you've come to Stonehill, what is that like? What where's kind of your main recruiting base? I know you guys are obviously in New England, but where's the main recruiting base, and what are some of the areas you guys are trying to target?
yeah, so I've been at Stonehill today marks a month and like 2 days, so still fresh start,
Okay.
still getting everything used to
Yep.
everything. But so right now I'm taking Central Jersey over. So I got like Monmouth County, Middlesex County, Somerset County, all that middle range right there. Then I actually have Maryland and DC. So I'll be flying out to Maryland next week and doing my recruiting trip out of Maryland and DC. So it just depends. Like I said, location wise, if it makes sense. Like I said, I'm a Jersey guy, so it feels good to be able to go back down and recruit Jersey, be able to do what I have to do in that aspect of it. Um, and I know like everybody, it just depends what school. Like we have certain situations where if you want to recruit nationally, if you recruit nationally, that could be a little bit more position based instead of the area. Like if you recruit nationally, when you find a receiver that's out in Oregon or Utah or anything, any other state, and it's positionally based, then I have the right to. All right, well, I like this guy. Let's see if I can bring him in and go from there.
And then as far as like so if you're doing the area and you have that area, are you actually going out to schools like during this recruiting period? Will you go out to the schools? Are you going
Yeah.
to go to some of these events where they have like a school hosts coaches? What how do
Yeah.
you kind of
So that's what's been pretty cool recently. Now they're starting to do all these showcases and doing a lot of like different schools doing the workouts and everything like that. Able to go see live evaluation and period. So yeah, next week I'll be in Jersey. I'm going to a bunch of schools. Certain schools you go in, you try to just talk to the head coach and see what their listings are of 26, 27, 20, what they got in the future. Certain schools you want to go to, obviously to the winning programs. You want to see who they have that's available to go. Certain guys you might like on film, and that you're like, I have to see him in person because he looks a little thin. I have to really see it in person. So like I said, it's situational where every certain situation is different. So it just depends on the thought process behind the school. If I have a relationship with the head coach already or a recruiter that's in that area, if I know one of the players by family members or something like that. So just word of mouth, and then on top of just doing my live evaluation, seeing who I have to see in person, prioritizing that first.
that makes a ton of sense. It's an interesting road. You've been to some really interesting places, being from going to Lackawanna, going to New Mexico, and then coaching in a lot of different places, a lot of locations. Um, as far as like kind of as a, like final question for me, I don't know if Derek has any other questions, but um, what what do you see like going forward as far as like the levels that you're at, so which is FCS, Stonehill? Do you guys, from a recruiting standpoint, is it bigger to get high school kids? Is it bigger to get transfers? Or is it if you're getting transfers, there's the guys that are coming down a level or going laterally. What are kind of some of the areas that you think it's going to go towards?
That every school is different. Every school is different. So I've been in the past, like at Notre Dame College, we were huge transfer portal guys. We were a huge transfer portal. That was basically our motto. We're trying to develop some high school guys, but we're going to hit that portal, and we're going to deal with the older guys. Now, like I said, every school have their own process and everything like that. Now at the Division I level, and seeing guys that these are guys that they recruited in high school. I'm realizing I'm like, oh, they're talking about high school, not really too much transfer. I'm looking at the room from the outside. I'm looking at like, oh, well, there's not a lot of transfer here. So I think at this level right now, we're just high school development. High school guys are huge to. I'm a firm baby in development. It's two things: you're either coaching or you're allowing it. So I think to get a guy from high school to be able to see the improvement his freshman year of college to sophomore year of college, each semester you're seeing a guy transform and get better and grow and get smarter. You don't just finish growing at 17, 18 years old. You're going to grow. You're going to get taller in college too. So I love the high school method. And then I love JUCO guys. You know what I'm saying? As much as we talk about transfer portal, I still love my JUCO guys, the guys that didn't qualify out of high school, and guys they're getting a second chance and be able to see them mature and see the growth between that of the high school to junior college phase. So I'm a fan of everything. I'm a fan of these guys getting the opportunity to go to another school, go to another level, whether it's going up, going down. I think guys are getting too caught up in the NIL and the money part of it. But at the end of the day, it's about the love of the game. It's about the love for football. So if you're leaving, are you going to play more? Are you going to get more playing time? Is that one thing you're thinking about? Are you going to be able to positively affect the team in a way, be a leader, and make your team better? So when thinking about the recruiting wise, transfer portal, junior college, high school, at the end of the day, you have to develop. You have to develop these players, no matter what level it is, no matter what what conference they played in or anything like that. Me though, I am a guy that I have no problem with recruiting a high school guy, bringing a high school young 18-year-old and watching him grow, seeing how he leaves at 22, 23 years old. Maybe I'm a little more old school, traditional. That's the way I thought just growing up. I'm the youngest. I got 3 older brothers, 4 older sisters. So being able to be the youngest, that gives me different perspective on things sometimes, and give me that old head perspective sometimes. So I do like the traditional high school. Once again, I have no problem with the transfer portal going down that route also, because once again, there's guys that it's helped me in the past recruiting and getting a transfer portal guy too. So that don't hurt, but I have no problem with recruiting high school guys and developing them.
Yeah, I think that figuring out what the school wants to be is always an important thing, and that impacts who you're going to take. Derek, do you have any final thoughts or anything?
Just to kind of piggyback on that, I think that the road that you took, being a JUCO guy, and we've had JUCO guys on the show before, it's kind of a world that a lot of people really don't understand, and they don't really they don't get the grind that it actually is. And for the most part, you're going there, like you said, because of a situation where you don't have the proper grades or whatnot, and to talk about that growth and development from being in that atmosphere, I think is huge. And I think that's something that you can bring to the table as you progress along in your career. And then once again, that JUCO world, so you'll be able to go back, look at it, and be like, you know what, let's take JUCO guy, where I don't know if that's really with the rise of the transfer portal. I don't know if college coaches are looking to even take that route. Definitely not as much as they used to, just because, risk reward, right? If I take a guy in the portal, I already know he's capable of being at a 4-year school or a D, you know what I mean? So the stability, I think, of it, when maybe that guy from JUCO is already good to go and could be that plug and play guy that comes in now, and now he's a banger and whatnot. Like I said, I think you have to know your program and approach it a certain way. I think that aspect for you can be a huge benefit to Stonehill with what you're going to bring to the table and whatnot, Coach. But look, I appreciate it. I know you can hit the ground running. You're there right away. You know what I'm saying? You just got there. So for you to take the time with us, I really appreciate it. When you are, I did have one question. Are you handling Ocean County as well when you get down here?
No, I don't have Ocean County. No, I don't have Ocean County.
Running back got it. County, so. Got it. All right. That's what I need to know, because that's my stomping ground. That's where I'm at. So you go light that whole thing up. You'll get on the road. Are you guys done with spring ball now?
Yeah, we just finished spring ball up this past week. So it was fun. It was, like I said, being able to jump right into it has been a really good
catch up. You're just hitting the ground running. Absolutely.
I don't have to think about it too much. I gotta work. I gotta be able to plan and just be able to go ahead right with it. So
right. So now you guys will. So some people don't really understand how the whole spring recruiting aspect works in terms of guys getting out on the road. Dave touched on it a little bit in terms of guys have whether it be specific areas within a state, and then once it's geographical, right? In terms of, hey, I have North Jersey, I have Central Jersey, or I have South Jersey, broken up into counties and whatnot. And then obviously guys don't understand that just because you play receiver doesn't mean that the receiver coach is recruiting you, right? So I think that's something that's important for guys that, look, you hit up any of the coaches on the staff, the one that, everybody wants to go to their position guy, but that might not be the guy that has your area. So look for the area guy, position guy, whoever it is, and then the coaching staff or the program ultimately will then filter it through as to, hey, I have a receiver that's in, Monmouth County. He gets now, okay, receiver coach, you check him out. You tell me. Now I'm going into that building because I know he's for us, right? Yeah, I just want to clarify that that's kind of, the way that it goes with everything so that people really understand that, because, it gets confusing in terms of who am I talking to and who's recruiting me. Like, there's a filter system here, guys, where, these guys just don't randomly stop at schools. I mean, they may, because the school has produced guys past, or they have a relationship with the coach in the building, but mostly the time is of the essence where they need to go to targeted areas of where we have opportunities to now bring guys into our school.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because like I said, I've been moving around a little bit. So I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was in Cleveland, Ohio. I was in Lebanon, Illinois. So moving around so much, it's kind of funny you say that because I'm moving there for the first time. I've never been to these places at all. So I'm trying to learn the towns. I'm trying to learn the counties. I'm trying to learn. So I got to the point where I was in Ohio and I was in Illinois. I'm just recruiting everybody because I didn't even know specifically which county the school is in yet. I was still trying to learn by the
geography of it. Absolutely.
I'm trying to see what school is this. So at first, I was just recruiting everywhere, and just because I didn't even know 100% if it was my area or not. And you can never over recruit. You can never talk too many coaches talk to the kid. That can't happen. So I was just taking on everything. But now that I know Jersey and I know that like the back of my hand,
right.
I thought I knew it like the back of my hand, but there's some towns I'm like, I never heard of that town before in Jersey in my life.
No, man. And you have a lot of towns in a lot of, because obviously with the population density that we have here, you have a lot of schools in a small area and whatnot. And I think, look, your head coach is a real smart guy. He's a real calculated guy. Obviously, you being a young guy kind of just getting there, what he's going to look, that's why do you think you have Central Jersey, right? Yeah. Because you're from there, it, and now you can go make an impact because of your network, right? Whereas somebody else, it's just a calculated move. I think it's a good move, especially with you guys. Look, you've only been FCS for a couple years at your university. You know what I mean? You were a Division II. I think it was like 2-3 years ago, right? Yeah. So now you're jumping into the NEC, and now okay, are we recruiting the same type of kid? Or do we have to up the level? I mean, look, we've seen a lot of these programs, Division II to FCS. We've seen a lot of FCS to Division I with, teams like Delaware making the jump, or, JMU a couple years ago making the jump, right? These need to now be, and rosters now have to evolve, right? Like, you're no longer a Division II guy, buddy. You're an FCS guy. And you're going to be bagging with some boys that have been FCS guys for a while. So the calculated moves when it comes to recruiting, and that's kind of where we go back to. I always on our podcast here is, what's going to work best. Ultimately, it comes down to really just finding the right fit. Yeah. And that's school first, That's
the crazy part, too, because you never really know. What the outcome is going to be when you make the jump, everything like that. I remember when I was at Lackawanna getting recruited, Coastal Carolina was one of the schools that offered me. And this was their first time they were making that jump to the FBS. They were really getting everything started. I was just so scared. I'm like, I'm scared. I don't know if I'm gonna go there because I don't know how they're gonna participate. I don't know how they're gonna do. And then now I'm looking back at it, and I'm a Lobo for life. I'm New Mexico to drop, but it was so cool.
So who was? I did have a question. Who was your head coaches when you were at New Mexico? Because you said you had two, right?
I played for Bob Davey. I played for Coach Davey. I was there for years with Dave.
So that's wild. So, and you're talking about a guy that was at like Dave. He was like a Notre Dame guy, right?
Dave, legendary. And Coach Cosgrove.
Triple option, right?
Yeah, triple option. And Coach Cosgrove, he was the defense coordinator at Wisconsin back when they had like Ron Dane and stuff. So I was around some coaches where I'm like,
so you were all juiced up to be on staff with a guy who had Ron Dane.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have all the legendary guys and hearing their stories, and the coaches, like my office.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Some of those Bob Davey stories must have been unbelievable.
And my second year I had two different offensive coordinators. My second year we had Coach Calvin McGee, rest in peace. He was the offensive coordinator back in the day of like Pat White at West Virginia and all the Steve Slade and all them guys. And that was my favorite college growing up. So I was like 8, 9 years old watching them, and then years later for him to be my offensive coordinator and tell me about them stories when he was recruiting Noel Devine and all them guys. It was just crazy.
Devine. There's a highlight tape that nobody's ever going to forget.
Oh, yeah, Noel Devine, greatest highlight tape ever.
Stud, dude, right? Stud. Greatest and I believe he's back. I believe he's back coaching there now, him and Slayton.
Yeah, he coached at West Virginia, yeah.
Yep, I believe they're back there. That's awesome. That's crazy. But, Coach, listen, we appreciate you taking the time, coming back and whatnot and talking, giving us a little insight into the JUCO world as well as, look, it's a quick rise, man. Like, you're already at an FCS, whereas, like you said, a lot of your friends have been looking for those jobs for a while, and you kind of, got right into it. So continue to do what you're doing. We appreciate you taking the time. Anything we can do for you to help, let us know, man. Did we lose him, Dave?
Oh, we lost. I guess it's good time. I'm sure you'll send up a text. No, it was great having him on. Really good pod. Interesting rise really fast. So,
dude, really, really fast. Like really fast. I bet you he's got some buddies that are might be not too like what's going on here.
Great. It's all about the network. So. But yeah, no, it was really, really good podcast, and then we'll be back next week.
Next week we got some good. We got some good stuff coming into the next. Oh, there he is.
I don't know what just happened. My fault.
No, Derek was saying goodbye, but then you were gone.
Nah, good.
It's all good, bud. I didn't want you to, I was giving you a nice little farewell there, but it's all good.
I'll have to go back and watch this, so I appreciate that, though.
No, it was great having you on, Coach. Really appreciate you coming on, and like Derek said, but I think you might have been gone at that point. Anything we could do. We really appreciate you coming on, and it's great seeing your career and how fast you're rising. And
I appreciate y'all for giving me the opportunity. I'm always going to represent Jersey, and I'm always going to try to help out Jersey guys. And we got to stick together. So
that's it. Not many people like us, buddy, but I know. This is not. Just put it this way: we are an acquired taste. Okay, we are an acquired taste. That's what people from Jersey are, right? So, listen, like we said, Coach, if we can help you out in any way, shape, or form, when you get back to state and whatnot, kind of let us know. But I'm sure you'll have that Middlesex area locked out. So, we appreciate you taking the time, bud. Continue to do good things. Because you're a fast riser, man. We'll talk. Have a good day, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Take care.